Hello. So it's been a while since I've made a video. It's been a while since I've done any crafting, or a couple of weeks anyway. I started crafting a little bit last weekend, but other things took precedence. So I'm going to finish what I started last weekend, which was my Father's Day card. So I've got some Cosmic Shimmer sprays. I've got some die cuts and some stamps. I'm using the collection from Julie Hickey Designs, which is in the designer series designed by Hazel Eaton. What's it called? Let's have a look. Can't remember what it's called, to be honest. If it has a name or it's just designed by More for the Girls stamp set. There we go. And I think I've also got More for the Boys mixed in there as well. So yeah. So we've got some stars, dies, star frames, dies, and some stamps. Yeah, I've already made some prep, or done some prep. I'm not using that. So we'll just move. I've used the smallest frame. I've also cut out this one a few times, and the smaller star die with the stars cut out on the inner star. So, and I've cut those about 3 times, I think it was, and stuck them together, and that's on watercolour card. And I've also come to those in a second, cut out which one was it? Yep, so I've used the die from the smallest medium-sized star, and I've also used the star that comes out of this frame. I've also used that and stuck that together 3 times. This is a very old, I think it was Joanna Sheen or Britannia Dies die set or die. Happy Father's Day. I've had it quite a long time. Britannia Dies, I think Pink Frog Crafts now own them. So if it's still available, that's probably where it can be found, with Pink Frog Crafts. And this is how it cuts out. And again, I've cut it 3 times. And laid those together. So that's what I intend to use. So I'll just move those out of the way. And the only other thing I might do, and I haven't made up my mind yet, I've got another very old Desire Embossalicious lattice embossing folder. It's not quite big enough, but it will do the job, and I might be able to adjust it so that it does cover the whole card. And if not, if I get it central, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to use it yet. But this is what I'm sort of aiming for, something along these lines. And the only difference is that didn't know that was there. The only difference is that rather than the blue matte layer, I'm going to use a black matte layer, because I don't think, or that didn't work for me anyway. So that's the plan. So I've got black matte layer there, and that will go sit on there. It's very small black, but I think it will make the card pop more. I've already prepared my envelope with stamped a few of the stars. These, I think it was these little ones and this one here. So that's already prepared, and I'll also use some of these numbers and bits for the background, so which we'll come to in a second. So I'll put the envelope over there with the matte layer. And then the other thing I've got is I'm going to make the background from Cosmic Shimmer sprays. I've got Pacific Point, which is a beautiful blue-green sort of colour, and Water Jet, which is a shimmer spray, I think. Actually, no, it's not. Neither of these are shimmer sprays. And this is a blue mid-blue colour. Yeah, so that's what we're going for. So I'll move these out of the way because we want those to stay white. That can go over there. And then all I'm going to do is sort of a mix of smooshing and just a little bit of water on the card already. Just need to might get another spray if I can see it. So, there we go. Right, and I'm just going to dot and dab and dilute it down a bit with some water. I want that a bit paler than the original colour. Right, I didn't prepare some card to soak this up with, so I am going to have to wipe it up, unfortunately. And then I'll just use a bit of kitchen towel just to soak some of that up. Okay, and then I'll take a little bit of the Water Jet, dilute that down a bit, and then add a bit of that. And again, soak it up. And then with Smoosher, with Natalie card, NB cards, just add a bit of texture to the background. And you could do that with the kitchen roll as well, with a bit of the blue, add some texture. Like that. And then I'm going to leave that to dry. I want it to dry naturally because then it will even out a lot more, rather than if I heat it with a heat gun, it will, the card will stay fairly bendy, whereas as it's watercolour card, leave it to dry naturally and it will even out a bit more. So I'm going to be back very shortly. Okay, so it's dried a little bit. It's only about 10 minutes or so, but enough for me to do some stamping. So I'm going to use some of these designed by Hazel Eaton, more for the girls stamp set, or boys. This is, I think, might be more for the boys stamp set. I'm going to use Versifying Clair Morning Mist, I think, or am I going to use Warm Breeze? Let's try Warm Breeze as well. Warm Breeze, and maybe Barley Blue, or I think I've got, or maybe not, Arctic Blue. So let's get those out and give those a go. We might try all of them. Why not? Can do the background again. So I've taken the numbers and I'm just going to stick them in any old where. I might use a stamp. I wasn't going to, but maybe I will use a stamp block. And just come in various places. Not going to be too precious about it. Yeah, I like that colour. I might try Warm Breeze as well. That was Barley Blue. This is Warm Breeze. So we do a little bit of that slightly darker. Yeah, I don't want too much of that. Let's also try, oh, we might just, don't think this will be the right blue, but we'll see. Maybe. Right, and that was the Arctic Blue. So now I'm going to come in with one of the frame corner, not sure what they are, lines. Let's go with that. And maybe I'll use Morning Mist for this. And just add a bit of more texture, and with the little circles and star stamp that I used for the envelope, I'll come in with Warm Breeze maybe, and just add that in there. Mist. Breeze. Which one do I want? And maybe a little bit of the Arctic Blue. Quite subtle actually. There we go. So that's all I want really, just a little bit of added texture. And then I need to decide if I'm going to put it through the embossing folder for just a tad more. So that's all the colours I was using. And that's how it's looking. So, right, and then again, I don't know how long I've had this folder, probably 10 years. So I have apps, I mean it's a general lattice folder, and I'm sure these are around and can be found in many places. So right, let's see how this looks. Right, I'm going to go and put that through the machine, and I'll be back. Okay, so I like the texture that's added. There is a bit of a gap where I had to turn it around and put it in the other way round just to get a little bit of texture at the bottom, but that's fine. I don't think my dad will notice. And also I'm going to put the sentiment somewhere around there. So then all I need to do is decide how I'm going to lay out my stars. So I think be something like that. Let me see how I did these ones. So yeah, I think that'll be okay. Okay, and then I'm going to stick those on there, find my glue. So again, I've got my Pink Frog Crafts EVA glue. Just put that there, pick that one up. Now let's see if that is going to stick. Yeah. Okay, might need to hold it for a second. And that will have to bring up a little bit, and then that will go over there. And that will stick like that, hopefully. Right, chuck a few blocks on there, and that might weigh it down a little bit while I stick this down. You could cut out a matte layer for this by drawing round the die, which I've only just thought of, but if I had thought of it sooner I might have actually done. But I think this stands, having it in the white, I think it stands out well enough against the sort of quite bright blue background, so I'm quite happy with that. Hopefully these have stuck down enough to not move. There's a little bit of height there, and rigidity to those stars, so I'm quite happy with those. And then find my matte layer, wherever I put it. There we go. Might have been better to use red liner tape for this, or strong double-sided tape, but we'll see. Pink frog glue is very good. And does give you a little bit of wiggle room. So there we go. Got a card base somewhere. This is a 5, I think, sorry, I don't think I said what the measurements were. This is a 5 by 7 card base, I think. Yep, 5 by 7. And the matte layer is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then the top, the topper is 4 5/8, I think it was. So it's just a 1/8 of an inch border around it. So go. There we go. So that's my Father's Day card for this year, which he'll get next weekend. And yeah, I hope that gives someone a little bit of inspiration, maybe for their own Father's Day card. Could easily turn it into a birthday card. Yeah, so that's that, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.